I warn you, this could scare you, as the sound bothers me to listen to. It has always haunted me. What you're about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. Hey, what's going on? It's the Beeline here, baby. And I have to say something very special. Hey, to everybody out there, happy Halloween. I hope you guys are having an amazing Halloween. You're getting your candy, trick-or-treating, having
These guys are playing on some tubes. Don't ask me why.
What's that? Right up there.
What?
What is that thing? Whoa, what the heck?
Dude, I don't... What?
What is that?
Can you see me now? Hi. People, join me, Brian B, in tonight's little different version of that web show on YouTube. What's it called? What's it called? Hey, Mr. Google, can you tell me what it's called?
It's called the Beeline.
Yes, the Beeline. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in with me on this special Halloween night. It's Halloween again, y'all. Can you believe it? It's crazy. I was sitting there doing this whole time, and I was looking back on the old Halloween special that I'm so proud of. It was so amazing. And I mean, I did it at 3 a.m. and I'm doing this one similar to that one. I'm alone right now. I'm in the dark. I'm in the depths. But this time, I chose to give myself to the ghouls and goblins that surround me tonight. You want to see? I'm going to show you!
Where are you going? Don't leave me. I need you. Where are you? I miss you. Stay with me. If you leave, I'll never...
That's what we're doing tonight! There's going to be a lot to share. But first, we have to get down to the bare minimum of things. Halloween has always been one of my favorite holidays. I enjoy everything about it. I love being scared. I love scaring people. I love horror, you know what I mean? Like classic horror too. I'm talking about that. It grabs me. Come here. Maybe that was a bad choice of words. I used to be real big into paranormal. Like paranormal was like huge for me. I was able to go inside. My cousins had a closet, and their computer was in a closet. So I would sit there and I would look up all these crazy YouTube ghost videos and see all these, ridiculous, some made up, And then there's other ones where you're like, wait a second, like this shit might be real. It might be something going on here. But I used to sit here and watch all of those types of videos, and I'd close myself in that closet. And you know, as I'm sliding the door, like, you know, it's like pitch black dark. And it's like I'm watching the videos, and then I'm just waiting for like the scariest things to happen so I can sit here and just look at it. And you know, just to see if I can handle it, if that makes any sense. I think that's what a lot of people kind of face with fear. You know, fear is a big part of Halloween. It's a big part of everyday living. And I think there's a lot of fear, you know, in a lot of situations that people deal with now. You got a lot of, you know, people are scared, you know, for financial reasons. People are scared for medical reasons, you know, all this stuff with the vaccinations and everything like that or whatever. You're a vaxxer or anti-vaxxer. It's just crazy. Like, you know, you don't understand why, you know, people make their decisions to do certain things, but fear is definitely a big thing. People are scared. You don't want to face, you know, what may potentially happen, whether it be death, you know, somebody trying to kill you, or just something simple as, you know, I don't have another paycheck to get through my day. So, you know, you got to understand fear. Fear for me, you know, is a crazy conversation piece. Fear for me is definitely like, you know, not being able to protect my family and things like that or whatever. You know, I'm one of those kind of over preparers. I'm always trying to make sure that I'm ready for anything, whether it be, you know, weapons, whether it be, you know, just studying, paying attention, making sure that, you know, I'm looking around before I walk and just like open my car. I don't, yo, tell me this. Does anybody else do this shit? Like, you should do it if you don't do it. But every time I get in my car, I've been doing this for the longest time. Every time I get in my car, I check the back seat. I always look in the back seat. That's the first thing that Don't start, okay? Please don't start. Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm getting a good. Don't start, please don't. I always do it just to make sure that, you know, nothing's going to sneak up on me. I want to be prepared. I want to make sure that, you know, I'm paying attention. And I know it might be to some people, like, I hate the people that are like, oh, that's dramatic. That's overreacting, blah, blah, blah. You're paranoid. Why not? Why not be safe? Why not be cautious? You know what I mean? A lot of times you see videos and craziness or whatever. Like, I remember seeing like videos where people were in parking lots in like supermarkets and stuff like that. And, you know, attackers and stuff like that usually pick, you know, women and women with children and things like that or whatever. And you're sitting there in a parking lot. Just think about how fast it can happen. Somebody is just sitting there waiting for you. And they've been following you for a week, 2 weeks maybe. And then, you know, the next thing you know, they got your pattern down. They have all this stuff realized about you because you don't pay attention, because you don't want to seem paranoid or have this kind of mental image of yourself. So you're going to completely ignore the realism that something can happen. Like, things can happen all the time, and you see it on the news every day. I mean, that's one of the worst things you're seeing on the news more than ever now is, you know, I can't turn the damn news on without hearing about another body being found or just crazy shit going on consistently. I don't know, you know, what else is going to happen as far as, you know, what's going to wake the world up and make people understand. Like, it's important to pay attention. It's important to make sure you're doing what you got to do. But, you know, that's a whole different story. You know, Halloween is one of those things where it's like, it's just a fun time to be scared. You know, that's what it's supposed to be. You know, representing. It's fun. It's fun to go out, fun to get your stuff, or just dress up, or whatever. You know, I'm definitely want to do the top 5 costumes, like I said. I'm gonna do that a little later on the show. But you know, I'm gonna do it later.
Now, do it.
They want me to do it now, but I'm not going to. But yeah, so that's really like a fear for me. It's just like making sure that my family's protected. I check my back seat. Since I've been such a fan of horror movies and things like that, I'm not one of those type of people who can't watch horror movies. I can watch horror movies all day, at night, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. But like things like snakes and bugs and wasps, oh man, I'm done. You better call the exterminator. I'm not getting anybody. They just creep up on you. So yeah, that's one of my biggest fears, probably bugs and things like that or whatever, outside of like, making sure that people aren't robbing you, man. One of the craziest things I have been watching on like Netflix and things like that or whatever recently, and I go on these kicks, yo. I don't know if y'all are like me, but I go on these crazy kicks where I have like these long binges where I'm watching like forensic files and just murder documentaries and things like that. I'm not like gonna kill anybody or anything like that. Or am I? I really enjoy like watching the crazy stories and things like that. It kind of puts me in like that sense, like I said, like preparation. Like you kind of get the gist of what these people are capable of and what has been done to people in the past. You can kind of learn from their experiences. Unfortunately, like I'm not saying that like, oh yeah, I'm just glad that happened. Like it's a scary thing, man. And it's just like I think just knowing that people like that are out there is just like. It's difficult to handle sometimes, I think that's why a lot of people shy away from a lot of things that make people scared because you don't want to face it. You don't want to face that it's actually a possibility. So let's get back to the conversation. Hey, listen. So how many times have you guys, turned on your Netflix or something like that, and you're like me, and you're like, horror fanatics, baby. We have to find the newest, latest in horror. You know what I'm saying? You talk to a lot of people, and what are they always talking about? You're talking about the Halloweens and the Freddys and the Jasons and stuff like that. Those are like the classics, But now it's like everybody wants to find, the next generation, the newest, latest. And there's been no shortage, man. There's been some really, really, really good, movies that have came out. One of the ones that I saw recently. We're gonna do something on the show that we're supposed to. This is gonna be the watch list. Today on the watch list, we have, first up for Halloween, we have this movie, Fear Street. This was a really, really, really interesting take on something that I knew from my childhood. When we talk about R.L. Stine, you're talking about Goosebumps. You guys remember Goosebumps back in the day, the books? Listen, I was a huge fan of Goosebumps. I remember so many kids back in the day, what's something recent? You had, not recent, I guess it's not recent anymore, but you had kids collecting like Pokemon cards and things like that. That was like the latest trend that I remember. I'm fucking dinosaur, I don't remember anything. But kids used to sit there and collect Goosebumps books, man, and Goosebumps books were just like these horror stories, basically kind of formatted for kids, and they were really good, man. They were intriguing, and there were so many of them, and the covers were like really like flashy, and they had like characters on it to make you like want to read the book and everything. And I used to collect them, man. I remember showing off, and the best part about it was they had the numbers on the side, so you can see like how many numbers you have and everything like that, lining them up, put them all together, try to get every one that you wanted. But I loved Goosebumps so much, man. R.L. Stine, he used to write them, and then he wrote a bunch of other books and things like that for a little bit more adult audience. But he had this one of the book series was called Fear Street, and Fear Street was more an adult kind of horror kind of thing, but it was still like teen adult. So on Netflix, they have this movie, and it's a series of movies, and it actually starts from like I think it's 1994, and it goes to like 1970s, and then it goes all the way back to like the 1600s or something like that, I believe. But it was so good, yo, and it was like my cousin put me on, and he told me about it.
No, I did.
You didn't put me on. Don't even try. Yeah, there it is. Over there trying to take credit. I did it. Stupid.
Don't make fun of me!
Anyway, and he sat there and told me like all the stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay, so cool. So I go into it thinking it's gonna be like just like I don't know if you ever watched the Goosebumps series. It was like kiddie, like it was kind of like it wasn't. I wasn't like thinking it was gonna be like crazy blood and stuff like that or whatever. But this movie actually surprised me, yo. It was very interesting. Like it was crazy how they did, the killing scenes and things like that. It was kind of deep. Like it wasn't a kids movie. It was a horror movie. So the story was good. The characters in it were good. It was a very well-rounded movie. Very pleasantly surprised by that one. So definitely go check out Fear Street on Netflix, part of the watch list. Also, something that I want to check out, I haven't checked it out yet, and we've talked about it a bunch of times on the Beeline. But Chucky has a new TV series. For those of you who don't know, I don't know who the hell can't know at this point. Chucky, Child's Play. I'm gonna get you, Andy. Listen, Child's Play is probably one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It's pretty much like my introduction to horror when I was young. And, it was kind of creepy because it was a toy. It was a doll. We had dolls laying around all over the place, me and my sister. So it's like we had to see this thing come to life and, all the stuff that he used to say. And Chucky was crazy, bro. So it's like, there's been so many versions of him over the years. And the movies did kind of, gradually get a little corny, a little stupid, a lot of extra stuff in them that, really didn't, signify what Chucky really was. He was this freaking crazy serial killer, man, who was trapped in a damn doll. And one thing I never understood about Chucky is, why did nobody just pick him up? Like, why is everybody fighting with this fucking toy? Like, it's a stuffed animal. Like, why don't you just pick him up and like rip his head off or something? Like, I don't understand why it was like something. So I never knew. Like, I don't know if anybody else has. People make fan theories and just make shit up themselves, like they wrote it. But I never knew if anybody had like a reasoning like why was Chucky like, did he have like his human strength, or was he stronger because he was possessed or whatever? I never knew that, and I never looked it up either. So it's not like I tried hard. But I was always curious about that because I used to watch the movie, and even as a kid, I was like, "What the hell? I could beat him!" Like, this is nothing to me. But it was still creepy. Like, I enjoyed Chucky. But he's got a TV series out now, and I was doing a little bit of research into it. I haven't watched it yet. I think it came out. It came out earlier this month. But apparently, if you keep up with the series or the movie series. It got to the point where, I think the last one was The Curse of Chucky. And The Curse of Chucky was kind of like, it was interesting, I guess. It's really kind of interesting if you want to say it like that. But, hey, no offense, Chucky. He's everything else here. I don't want him floating around and trying to talk to me about it.
You thought?
I knew he was going to try to pop up. But that was for you guys. But, it's just crazy how, they continued this series and you didn't really understand it, but it's like, I guess they had to do something or whatever. It was really cool how they brought back the original guy who played Andy. That was really cool. But one of the things that, the TV series that's making me more interested in is this TV series is basically after the last movie. So I like how they continued it and didn't just like, try to recreate something and do something brand new all over again. Kind of gives it a little bit more of a feel. So I'm gonna check it out. Like, it's Chucky. I grew up watching Chucky, and he's funny. Like, it's funny. Him and Freddy Krueger, man. Freddy was funny, bro. Like, I know people that say they were scared of Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger's concept of him getting you in your sleep is probably one of the best, yo. There's no way you can tell me that there's not another vulnerable state from you being sleeping and then you thinking about this guy's coming in here and in your dreams he's attacking you. And, his movies are always like, everybody, your dream state is who you are. Like, you know what I mean? Dream Warriors was one of the best Nightmare on Elm Streets that I enjoyed. They all basically had like their individual powers in their dreams and stuff like that. And they wanted to, like, go up against Freddy because it's like, hey, I got my powers, you got your powers. But, Freddy is like, he's going to dominate your ass. Because he made a hand of knives. Well, whatever. But Freddy was always funny, man. I never was scared of Freddy, really. It was always like, I remember watching him alone by myself when I was, little. So that's not what scared me. People always scared me, yo. I've said it before in the show, but my favorite Halloween, horror movie of all time is Halloween. I love Halloween. Michael Myers scared the shit out of me when I was a kid because he's just a man. Like, it was like he wasn't a monster. He was just a guy in a mask. So it's like I didn't understand why this guy in a mask couldn't be stopped. Like Jason was a little bit more of a monster, but Michael Myers was the actual, like, he was just a dude, yo. It was like, you know, Jason, like, he, you know, drowned and stuff like that or whatever. Like I said, becoming more of I've always been a paranormal fanatic, but I love these possession movies, yo. I love them. We talked about it on a couple entertainment shows ago. The Conjuring, like the Conjuring movies were phenomenal, man. I love the play on how, like, you know, the people were getting possessed and the different things that was happening to them when they were, you know, getting pulled away. And it's just really crazy, like, to think, like, to yourself, like, hey, if this is based on true events or on a true story, like, is this real? Is this happening? Like, to have those kind of thought processes that movies are giving you, it's just a different kind of experience, man. It's really exciting. All right, so let's get into this right now. I know we've been talking a lot about, like, you know, kind of real stuff this time around. Like, you know, the last time I was talking about a lot of, like, past experiences where, you know, trick-or-treating. I hope kids are still going trick-or-treating. I really haven't, you know, it hasn't really been a big thing that I've seen. Like, you know, like, it was a big thing back when I was a kid. Like, you know, we love trick-or-treating. Like, you know, we get in our little groups with our costumes and stuff like that. But now it's like you see all these trunk or treats and things like that. People aren't really door-to-door in it that I'm seeing as much as they were. But, I mean, it was such a good experience. I mean, I hope people still are kind of, like, really trying to not get rid of that. Even though I know it's kind of hard, you know, people are untrusting now. You know, you found out so much more information with the internet and see what people are capable of. That's a lot what I was talking about on the first, you know, spectacular we did. But this spectacular, I was kind of like, you know, it's a little bit more real, man. It's a lot of stuff going on. You know, it was a lot of the, you know, COVID stuff. And realistically, yes, I drew more to this topic. And, you know, we've been talking about, like, you know, the serial killers and things like that or whatever. But one of the crazy things I think is kind of like an unexpected thing that happened with these devices are the Ring doorbell cameras. All right. So this is something that I've wanted to talk about. I kind of touched on it a couple of times in previous episodes. But listen, if you got some time, okay, and you don't have one of these doorbell cameras, yo, check it out, man. It's really crazy what people are finding on these damn cameras, yo. Now, I say this saying, what's the purpose somebody gets one of these doorbell cameras? All right. We live in an age now where everybody's, like, getting stuff delivered consistently. You know, you got Amazon, you got Instacart, DoorDash, whatever you got. Your stuff is there at your house, at your door. So people want to make sure they're getting their shit. You know, at the end of the day, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But you got thieving ass people out there, conniving people out there that's just waiting for opportunity. So what do they invent? Let's invent a doorbell that's a camera. Like, let me see who's at my door. Let me see what my stuff is getting here. Let me see who's coming on my porch or whatever. Once you get one person who has it and somebody tells somebody else about it or somebody else sees it, if a bunch of people have it, you now have, like, a completely surveilled, you know, community or whatever, your neighborhood. So 17 people out of 40, you know, house, you know, place or whatever has Ring cameras. Unless all those cameras are all together, like, you pretty much just have your own surveillance system in your own neighborhood. And that's crazy, yo, because it's like you're catching everything that happens. So I've been watching these videos and seeing, you know, the craziest videos. And I want to take some time out, and I'm going to show you guys a couple of them. And the one that I'm going to show you right now, because I want to speak on it, is one of the most interesting ones. So get your popcorn ready. Kiddies, don't eat too much candy. And here we go. Do your job, Google. Do your job. Show the video.
Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? What? Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you sure? I just have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? I just have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you sure? Are you absolutely certain? Sure.
So, who are you?
What? Yeah? Are you sure?
Who are you?
Hey, I just had a couple questions. I just wanted to ask you about the TV show. Yeah, can you hear me? What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm going to rape her and kill her. Can you have her open the door? I'm going to rape and kill the girl that's on the other side of this door when she lets me in. I want to rape her and kill her because I have a knife and a gun. Yeah, and I'm going to knock on her door again. All right. Are you sure? No idea. What?
All right, so yeah, this is an interesting one right here, man. I remember seeing this, it was on like Facebook or social media, and I watched it, and immediately, whenever I'm one of the type of people too, like when I see something or see something bad happen, I'm calling my girl, I'm calling IT Tiff, and I'm saying like, hey, what's up with the kids? Everybody good? You guys okay? It's like I'm always like the worry wart. Like I'm gonna make sure that everything is good. I got this thought in my head, and I don't want anything to happen anywhere near like my family or anything like that. So I'll call IT Tiff and I'll ask like, hey, are you guys okay? You guys okay? When I saw this video right here, I felt like driving home. Like that's how bad this video was. It hit me. You know what I'm saying? And I think any husband or whatever is gonna feel that way when your family's at home and you see something like this. Like this literally, without a shadow of a doubt, like shows you what a person is actually capable of, man. Like to sit here and watch this stranger. This is a stranger. This is how you gotta think of it. You gotta put yourself in the predicament. Like this is a stranger, and your wife's at home and she's by herself. You're at work. No matter what you do, you can call the cops. You can do this. You can do that, or whatever. Your ass is helpless. There's nothing you can do. You're where you are. Unless you're around the corner and you can get there as fast as possible. You're pretty much shit out of luck. No good way to say it. But you see this, and your wife is at home or whatever, and you just know that at any second something really, really bad can happen. Whether you call the police, whether you do this, whether you do that, everything takes time. So you never know what's gonna become an outcome in a dangerous situation like this. This guy is standing there and he's explaining in detail to a camera that he knows, he's got to know is recording him, what he wants to do, what he intends to do, what if that door opens, even if he's lying, the thought, the ability, the boldness, everything that's about this person is not good. It's not good intentions, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to go down any way but bad. And it's like to know that person is standing there right on the other side of your door, that's fear, man. To me, that's fear. That's horrifying. Like, there's absolutely nothing that can be said or done. But yeah, that was a really, really, really offsetting video that, I'm pretty sure a lot of people saw, and like I said, the first thought you think is like, especially if you have a family, like, man, I have to be there. Like, I have to be there. But if you can't be there, then you take the proper precautions. That's why you have to make sure your family has good strategies, your family is protected. They understand the importance of being safe at all times. Because that person was sitting inside her house And I guarantee you, she never, ever, ever thought that something like that was going to happen. She never even imagined that something like that was going to happen. I could be wrong. Maybe she, thought about it and said, hey, sometimes, apparently they thought enough to say, hey, I'm going to get a camera, you know what I'm saying, and make sure my house is, being monitored or whatever while I'm not here. Because she thought enough to be that way. But just think, the people that get, victimized in situations like this are people who, like I was saying earlier, like you just don't think anything can happen. You just don't want to think. You don't want to think about it. So at the end of the day, if some shit happens, you know what I'm saying? You got to think about it now. But it was a really crazy video. But yeah. But also, there's some other stuff that you'll see on there too, because it's crazy things like, of course people stealing shit, like, and some of them be funny, man, because I've seen a couple of them where it's like people have been stealing stuff or whatever and they freaking walk away. I remember there was one I saw, and a lady, she stole a package and she tried to run off the porch and freaking completely broke her ankle, and her ankle was just dangling. And I'm like, damn, how much karma can that be for your ass, like immediately? It ain't take no time. You know what's probably the worst part of that video? When she opened that package, it was fucking socks or something. It's like, wasn't even worth it. 9 times out of 10, everybody's not getting PlayStations and shit, yo. People are getting stupid stuff delivered, like, pieces. I remember one time I got some freaking pins for a damn air pump or whatever. Oh, you just wasted your time, stole something. Now you got a video of you. Like, it was that important? Like, even with the cameras, isn't it crazy that people will still go and just try to take somebody's shit with the camera still sitting there? People are fucking out of their minds, bro. But, like me, I guess. But, yeah, it's just real interesting, what the human mind is capable of, I guess.
Happy Halloween. This one's for the kiddies. We're gonna continue our storytelling for the kids here on the Beeline Halloween Spectacular. Let's go. The girl in the photograph. One school day, a boy named Tom was sitting in class and doing math. It was 6 more minutes until after school. As he was doing his homework, something caught his eye. His desk was next to the window, and he turned and looked to the grass outside. It looked like a picture. When school was over, he ran to the spot where he saw it. He ran fast so that no one else could grab it first. He picked it up and smiled. It had a picture of the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. She had a dress with tights on and red shoes, and her hand was formed into a peace sign. How lovely. She was so beautiful. He had to meet her. So he ran all over the school and asked everyone with the picture if they know who she was. But everybody said no. Tom was devastated. When he was home, he asked his older sister if she knew the girl, but unfortunately, she said no. It was very late, so Tom went upstairs. In the middle of the night, Tom was awakened by a tap on his window. It was like a nail tapping. He got scared. After the tapping, he heard a giggle. He saw a shadow near his window. So he got out of his bed, walked toward his window, opened it up, and followed the giggle. But by the time he reached it, it was no more. The very next day, Tom woke up with a burst of adrenaline and asked his neighbors, "Excuse me, do you know this girl in this picture? This beautiful girl?" But unfortunately, his neighbors said no. Tom waited for his mom. His mom came home, and he even asked her, out of pure desperation, "Mom, do you know the girl in this picture?" But of course, she said no. Why would she know her, Tom? He then went to his room and placed the picture on his desk, falling fast asleep with frustration. But once again, he was awoken by a tap on his window. He took the picture and followed the giggle he heard again. As Tom was following the giggle that he could not refuse, he mindlessly crossed the street and was hit by a car. Tom died with the picture of the beautiful girl he never could find. The driver instantly jumped out of the car and tried to help Tom, but he knew it was too late. Nothing could be done. He then looked down at what Tom was gripping with his cold, dead fingers and saw the picture of the beautiful girl holding up 1, 2, 3 fingers. Sorry, Tom. Yeah. Ghouls and goblins out there, I'm sad to say, we're almost to the end. Have you made it? We're going to take time out now and we're going to do the top 5, top 5, top 5, top 5, top 5, top 5, top 5. Today's top 5, we're going to be talking about our favorite costumes that we've ever worn any Halloween. So you got 5 picks. If you guys want to play along at home, please do leave your 5 picks in the description downstairs in the comment section, not in the devil's playground. Let's go. Number 5, first up for me. I'll tell you right now, first costume that I ever had that I can remember that I knew I wanted to be was Batman. Yes, it was Batman. I think all boys growing up in the 90s, I think at least somebody was Batman once. I mean, you know, 90s was fun, having costumes or whatever. Like, you know, it's still like kind of the same thing out now, but it was definitely a lot more ninjas and pirates and kind of like those generic ones that I can remember. You know, as a kid or whatever, you had a lot of ninjas, you had a lot of pirates, you know, maybe somebody was a doctor or something like that or whatever, but it was a lot of those. It wasn't a lot of people doing, you know, you had like Toy Story, Buzz Lightyear, things like that. But I remember a lot when I was in school, a lot of kids were doing like, you know, those kind of, those outfits, those like generic ones, man. And I'm not trying to like hate on nobody. I'm just saying what I remember as a kid. But Batman, you know, Batman was gonna be like one of the top ones for the kids or whatever. You know, back in the day, you had the Batman movies that were coming out. You know, you always had the Batman with Adam West and everything like that, whatever, which is phenomenal. Bam, boom, pow. I still got a couple for you, but you still had the Batmans. But the first Batman that I remember watching as a kid was Michael Keaton, man. Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson playing the Joker. Michael Keaton's Batman is my all-time favorite Batman, and I loved how, you know, it was dark, but it was still a good Batman movie. You know what I mean? It wasn't like death or anything like that or whatever, but it was like, well, actually, it was some death in that movie. The Tim Burton, you know, rendition was incredible. But it was my favorite costume. I say my 5th favorite costume that I can remember was definitely Batman. I had to put that up there because who didn't want to be Batman when they were younger? He had a stupid little yellow belt. It wasn't even a belt. It was a piece of freaking Velcro. Whatever it was. That shit had no tools on it. You need a tool to make it. But yeah, Batman's number 5. Number 4, this costume right here. Yes, I did it. I said it. Stop me if you can. Yeah, listen, I put some work into this right here, and I feel like it looks freaking amazing. I'm very proud of how this one came out. Last Halloween special, I had some face paint on, and I kind of like, you know, just trying to get the feel of it or whatever. I'm not no spectacular, you know, artist with this shit or whatever. But this
right here, yeah, it looks creepy as hell. I can't wait to watch it back. I'm so happy you guys are watching it and seeing it. This one for me is number 4, one of the greatest Halloween costumes that I've ever had put on or whatever. Let's jump right into 3. Number 3, bam, we're going to jump into, guess what? Yeah, boy, and this is in elementary school, okay? This is how crazy this is. Well, this is my parents right here. Jason Voorhees. That's right, I was Jason. Now, listen, I remember, this is my memory, serve me correctly. I know my mother's going to correct me. But I remember, I think when I was in school, I had like a t-shirt on and the hockey mask, and I had the machete. Now, this is the reason why it was one of my favorite costumes, because I had that machete. That's it. That's what I wanted. But what we did, this is in elementary school, like I said, I remember we had put like red fake blood on the machete. So I was holding a machete with Jason's mask and red fake blood on it, walking around in the little school Halloween parade. That was elementary school. Now you can't wear a mask. You can't do shit now. They would have fired my ass. I didn't even work there. But literally, that's what I had as a kid. Like I was Jason Voorhees, and like I said, Jason didn't scare me as bad as Michael Myers. I was never Michael Myers. That's something I kind of, if I was to do something now, I'd probably like try to pick that. But that was one of the biggest things that I remember about the Jason costume. I was just very bland in school. Besides like the machete with the blood on it, and I loved that. But I think when I got out, I think we put on like a couple other things, and I was Jason when we went trick-or-treating and everything like that or whatever, and got pillowcases of candy. Listen, I said it on the last episode, but just in case somebody missed it, we used to get pillowcases full of candy, yo. Great candy too. But yeah, that's definitely number 3. Number 2, here's another one. Now this is all elementary school. Number 2, listen, I was Frankenstein. Okay, my mother reminded me this back on the other episode when we were watching it together. I was Frankenstein. Now, I remember we went all out for this Frankenstein costume. My mother put it together. It was really cool. I had the bolts in my neck. I had the makeup and everything. I had the stiff shoulder pads. It was amazing. I had a picture of it somewhere back in the day, but I don't remember where it is. I wish I could find that picture. But it was a really, really good costume, yo. It was one of the things that, my mother did pretty much all of it. But it was just awesome how it came out. I looked just like Frankenstein. I also had the stupid freaking cinder block shoes he wears. What an idiot. I'm going to create a monster, but I'm going to give him some bricks for shoes. But yeah, that was a really fun costume. A lot of work went into it or whatever. It just kind of, who knows? Like, you pick up things, that you don't realize. But I mean, one of the reasons why I'm doing this right here could be like, because I learned from back then or whatever. And I'm not no makeup artist or whatever at all. Like, very limited. But this came out pretty well. But number one favorite costume for me was elementary school once again. Now, this one I always remember. Every time I think about Halloween, I think about this. Or think about trying to be scary, I think about this. I was a werewolf. Okay, now once again, my mother was friggin' classic for doing this shit. My mother always put together my costumes. But I forgot how I got it, or if I'm pretty sure I asked for it. But it was a werewolf mask. And this was one of the scariest fucking masks that I think I've ever had or ever seen. Because when I tell you, I wore to school, I wore it in the parade and everything like that or whatever. And then my mother had she had these old ripped jeans. So ripped these jeans up or whatever that I had and put these ripped jeans on. I had like the freaking flannel shirt that was ripped up and a t-shirt underneath it or whatever and blood on it and stuff. And the mask. Now, when I tell you, I was scaring the shit out of everybody. Little kids, this is what I remember. I had to only be like maybe 8 or 9 years old. And I had the mask on and I was walking trick-or-treating door to door. And kids, I remember seeing kids walking like with a face of horror or whatever. Ooh, mommy! And it happened like multiple times. And I loved it. I know that shit sounds horrible, but as a kid, I loved it. I was like, oh man, it's working. That's how you felt. Like when you try to do some scary shit and you get scared, like it's working. Like that's a phenomenal feeling. But yeah, that's definitely my favorite. I think of it to this day when I'm like, damn, that was something that happened that I was trying to be scary, and it was definitely a great success because everybody was scared of that damn mask. I've seen similar ones to it now. It's not as like big, but back then. As a matter of fact, I don't think it is anything that I did. Another thing that I remember about that mask is I had to keep taking that shit off because it was hot. It was hot as hell, man. It was hard to breathe and stuff like that with it as well. But that was awesome. But yeah, that's my top 5 favorite costumes of all time. I used to love trick-or-treating when I was a kid, man. It was so much fun. Halloween in general, bro. Like, now it's not about the trick-or-treating. It's more about the, AMC puts on the Monster Fest, AMC Oktoberfest, Monster Fest, whatever they call. They have that now. I love stuff like that. Just seeing like all the classic horror movies. I have a friggin' amazing collection of horror, over here where I watch that all the time. 9 times out of 10, if I'm sitting down, I'm trying to watch a horror movie. I don't care if it's Christmas, New Year's, Hanukkah, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm watching the horror shit. But yeah, I love it, man. But yo, listen, we're gonna do this. I'm ending it. I'm ending it. Shut up. They're going away. As soon as I'm done, they're going away. So they don't want me to stop. But I'm definitely gonna stop. But listen, Beeline, thank you guys so much. This has been really important for me. I thank you all for spreading it. Thank you all for watching it. I love you guys. Please like, share, subscribe, follow the channel. We have an amazing assortment of stuff coming on the show in these next couple weeks. I can't wait to see you guys. And if you guys enjoyed it, please leave your comments. Let me know. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to do another episode. We're going to try to probably have a Thanksgiving episode. I'm definitely doing a Christmas episode this year. And we're going to talk about some stuff then too. The holidays are here. The holidays are here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much. Listen, I hope that I scared the hell out of you. Do your best to be as terrifying as you can. I will see you all next year. Can't wait. Bye. Do you guys hear that? Do you hear? Shh, shh. I think they're coming for you.